Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to briefly go over why I think returning to your roots in land surveying is important. Thomas Jefferson laid the ground rules for surveying across the United States as we sold the federal land to the public. And now that we are in modern day, it should be no different when we are crossing multiple townships in large-scale surveys. The only difference being is that the access to the sites is easier and the technology is definitely easier to work with. That being said, it's still really important to identify and stay within the townships for your scale ranges, mostly because then you don't get the error that creeps up and makes your sidelines and tie lines not match. That being said, let's walk through. I have had my crews work 3 bases at a time and set control across this project. These control points were identified by advantageous terrain and access, and they also are make good triangles and geometry. So this is how I have chosen to do this. Each crew, there was 2 crews out, had 3 bases each. One crew ran the north and one crew ran the south. After they get the third one set, they go back and grab and move it forward. This was done across the whole project in 3 days and then static processed. These points are then used throughout the project and cross-verified in Trimble Business Center. So 2 crews always set up their bases. They go out to work on different townships, and their baselines are then processed against each other to verify that the points that they are collecting and that our control is agreeing across the entire project. These are also verified against Opus and RTX as a cross-check to ensure that our static network verifies against a repeatable cores station or static control and RTX real-time network. That being said, to manage the crews daily, the crews go out and they collect in a point number range that is specific to their crew. It's year, month, day, and then the point range from 500 to 750 belongs to crew 3, 250 to 500 belongs to crew 2, 001 through 250 belongs to crew 1, and crew 4 is 750 to 1000. If the crews do continuous topo, they collect in the 1000 range for their daily number with a CL in front of their point number range. This is extremely useful to be able to differentiate between centerline shots and regular shots as the crews move through the projects. Every day the crew comes back and they build out a job folder with their initials, so the different crews will continue building out. They put their photos for the day and their field notes for the day, and they put their job and their base file as they log every day will also go into the files folder. This is automatically created by Trimble. And once that is done, then this data is processed and output to the survey to CAD. This is ran similar to how the township section and range is, that you will have a plat and a field note. So per day you'll have your field notes, and then you'll have your deliverable, which will also have a latitude and longitude from TBC and an ellipsoid height so it can be verified against Opus. These also have the survey point number, northing, easting, elevation, and code, and then the layer for separating this out in CAD and in QGIS. QGIS is a very important tool for my survey crews. As the survey data comes in to track their progress across the site, then you can easily turn things on and turn things off and verify what points have been shot and what points need verified. So as I go through and verify points and put them into their indexes, so in this case, let's go to this index here. So every day the crews will go out and they have a target, which is my way of verifying what they're working on. I'll give them the GLO information of what to expect at the corner. And then after they've shot it, then I put in the information from their field note. This was put into H17 in the township drawing. So when you are coming back for a corner record, you can find it all in one spot. Go to the township and then go into your corner record, H17, and get the photo of the cap and the field note from the field crew. This, coupled with the GLO notes, is an extremely valuable corner record making machine. So once you get the hang of everything down, then you should be able to get your field descriptions. This is a little forward in the project. I haven't had time to get this, but let's just go through and go to T1 north to east to see the process. Survey, drawing, 1 north to east. The corner record, Z1, and we should have the original field note, which should have the index and then the note of what was found. This is just a suggestion on how to store your field data. But as things are getting and progressing through the project, a live layer in QGIS can be output to a QFIELD, which is compatible with iOS and ran from a phone. It is also compatible with Android and is my preferred way of using it. This is also compatible with Civil 3D. So when you are doing standard review on a township, you can do all of your verification and line work for your proportions off of the GLO in Civil 3D, and when you verify, you can verify against your field notes, which is the same as QGIS. I make a township and grid line that scales from 0,0 so that all of my grid data is far away from my ground data. For example, in order to have this line be at ground, currently it's at grid. You can see the grid distance is saved into my W block at 2657.42. So that's the difference between grid and ground at this site location based on my control point, each control point being centered in the township and is used for scaling zones of these townships so that the error toward the edges of the townships don't become unmanageable. This ensures that all of your line work lines up because you're starting from a line from monument to monument. And finishing from monument to monument. All that it is a simple scale, so you scale 0, 0. You're doing a reference scale from 0, 0. And you're going to, in this case, we are at grid. And we're going to ground. Now, you can turn off your survey points and you can see 2656 was our old distance. $26.57.42 is our new distance, and obviously I must have not snapped that right. There you go. That is how to draft at grid and ground and manage like Thomas Jefferson did.